Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your boy, Walkalanious, Insanious, and the Membraneous, a.k.a. Wakamedes, the highly educated Mexican, a.k.a. Walk, a.k.a. I'll stir-fry you in my walk with the bullshit. Here with the executive producer, the man of the hour, the tower of power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, the man of steel himself, twisted steel and sex appeal, DjTmos. Thank you, people. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're gonna bring you guys an amazing show today. It's gonna be delicious, and we're gonna be talking about a couple of different things today. We are gonna be talking about this minimum wage bullshit. We're gonna talk about women feeling like they're being harassed while wearing tight clothing. And we're going to be talking about Walmart and the stories and the experiences from Walmart, which everyone holds so dearly to their hearts. And I guess first things first. We are going to talk about Walkalanious' experience in Walmart this afternoon. What happened to you today?
Dude, so, I was on my way over here, I was so, yesterday, I have to apologize, DjTmos. We were supposed to do this yesterday, but due to family stuff, I wasn't able to get here on time.
Grown-up stuff?
Yeah, so, you know how that goes. Yep. And so, but anyway, I was just so excited. I mean, when I came in here, he tried to tell me something for like 5-10 minutes, but I just kept going on about this man. Anyway, I digress. You guys, I don't want to get too much into it. Anyway, I got my cup of coffee in the big time here.
All right. Can you show the folks your refill canister there?
I got the good air pot, man. I'm gonna get amped up throughout the show. So as I get more caffeinated, you're gonna go ahead and see your boy start. And I may just start saying shit I don't even really believe, but it's just coming out. So that's just the way it is.
How many ounces is that?
It's a whole pot.
Wow.
Actually, it can. Yeah, about a whole pot.
At least 40 ounces. Because that's as big as a 40. By my ghetto measurements, that's as big as a Colt 40. No, that's as big as an Old English, a 40.
Yeah, and you
know
44. What? You know what? I did not know all these years that I made my coffee too strong for the average American. I did not know that. Because, being in the Army, man, Army coffee is like, they make it to keep your ass up. It's like you stick a fork in it, it sticks straight up. So that's what I was used to. Like that, I was joking around. I like my coffee like I'm women, strong and black. And so I didn't know that like you're supposed to put like 1 or 2 little scoops inside a little thing, and then coffee's supposed to still be, it's black when it's inside the cup, but actually if while you're pouring it, it still looks like a golden brown, kind of like that Castro.
Yeah.
But no, man, my shit looks like mud. I didn't know that until about a month or 2 ago. I made some coffee at my cousin's house. He had a party, and then everybody was just like, and they didn't say anything about it. But I guess after I left, they said, "Oh man," they're just like, "Man, that coffee is black. That shit's too." They wouldn't. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." But
wow.
Anyway, so I was just so amped up to get here and to come, be here and be on the show. That man, I forgot to put on deodorant. Because I was just like, man, I forgot to put on deodorant, and I don't want to be, stinking and all that sort of stuff. I washed my ass, took a shower, whatever. I got the good Polo cologne, the green one. Was that the number? Is that the number 3 pony? All the low heads out there would know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But so anyway, I don't want to be up here funking it up. So I was like, man, let me stop by Walmart real quick. And normally I do keep a stick of deodorant in my car because you never, that sort of stuff, guy, you just know.
Yep.
You never know. It come from the gym or for moments like that you forget.
Yep.
Then I forgot to replenish the one because I used it or whatever all up. So I go into Walmart right over here on, what was that, Watt and El Camino, Wally World.
Yes.
And it's I went there, grabbed the stick, deodorant, was all over there, waiting in line, the 10 items list. I saw a Walmart employee, some middle-aged woman, walking. Now, I guess right now at Walmart, they're having a UC Davis Children's Hospital. Do you want $1, donate $1, and give you a little balloon, you fill out your name.
Okay.
And, so they have them all along, they put them all on the registers, the wall, they plastered up there. Well, they had a string tied from, the different posts, and they were hanging them up there. Well, this Walmart employee can't look like she's either coming to work, come back from lunch or whatever, walks by, moves a balloon or something somebody left, I don't know what she moves something.
Okay.
Causing all of these, about 30 or 40 of these balloon things, these balloon paper cutouts, to fall on the floor.
Wow.
She just looks at him and just goes, like, I don't give a fuck, and just walks off back to where she's going. The Walmart employee, not a customer. Not a customer. If a customer did, I see that happen. Yeah, I get it. They're like, fuck, I'm not picking that up. A lot of people deal with. But the employee. But I bet you that bitch is complaining about getting paid minimum wage.
Probably. I can guarantee it.
But, and that sort of shit is, I mean, dude, all I can say is what the fuck, man. You're going to do some shit like that, but then you're going to bitch about Walmart not paying you nothing? Well, look the fuck you just did to your own goddamn store you're working at.
Yep.
Oh, let me make a mess and oh, fuck it. And go back.
That should be Walmart's slogan. Fuck it.
Little low price leader. I'm not defending Walmart's ass. Fuck them too, but and I know there's a lot of people out there trying to say I'm not going to Walmart and all that. We're not really going to get into big business today. I mean, maybe a little bit, but some things you just got to go to Walmart. Sometimes you got to go to Walmart. It's just convenience and shit like that. It's like people are like, well, I don't like big oil and all that sort of shit. Well, but guess what, man? I got to put gas in the cars.
Exactly.
It's just the way it is.
You got to make it to work.
Exactly. So, and so anyway, that just immediately made me think about the minimum wage debate going on, about people wanting $15, $16 an hour.
Yep.
And at the same time, that's a lot of money.
That's pretty good money. I mean, there are some jobs that just start out at 15 that are great, and there's people who have college degrees that make between $15 to $20 an hour. I say, if they're going to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour, everyone else should get an automatic raise of $5. I'm just saying.
To maintain it.
I mean, then that way everybody wins. You can afford to raise all 8 of your illegitimate kids, and I can afford to buy a boat so I can go out on weekends to places that you can't afford to go to, so I can live in peace. But I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I know you've been going hard on your own, on Facebook and stuff about the minimum wage.
Yeah.
You've been very vocal and very strong about it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm ambivalent or on the fence, but I kind of see both sides. But I mean, you made some good points, because I seen some of the little video stuff. We discussed it before. Wages traditionally are tied to skills.
Yep. Skill equals pay. That's my slogan.
Skill. Exactly. It's skill, because jobs that not just anybody has the aptitude to do, or the education or technical know-how, or even just flat out work ethic to do.
Yep.
And it needs to get done. Companies that are in that business or that industry line of work know they have to shell out some money to get people to be able to do it. And at the same time, they're making big money to be able to complete projects or in this industry.
Yep.
I know people go, and I know a lot of people are saying minimum wage. People have been saying fast food workers shouldn't be getting paid $15 an hour.
Absolutely
and with that, I have to agree. Because, my first job, like many other people, was working at McDonald's. That ghetto one over there on, Stockton and Florin over there I worked at, man. Like I said, I was 16 years old, got hired there towards the, August, end of summer. That's after we decided we didn't want to go to summer school at Johnson anymore, because there weren't, the girls, the pickings were slim there. We're like, man, there ain't really a lot of girls here.
Yeah.
We got 5 units that doing whatever English class we do. That's good. I don't need the other 5. We'll cut our losses and chill out.
And that's a story on its own. We'll discuss that particular summer later.
It's hot as a bitch. It's hot as a motherfucker. I don't know if it's coffee or what, man, but I run hot. Now, if you people see me, I might take off this polo shirt and it might just be my wife beater. But, don't worry about it, because, I run hot. But so anyway, I digress, like I said. So, where was I at? Oh, yeah, McDonald's. So, I worked in McDonald's. And, man, it was a fun job, man. The managers were cool. Used to go to that Salinas Market. I used to go get 340s, a 211.
Mm-hmm.
I drank one before I went to work, and I put the other ones in the cooler. I drank one while I was at work, and I drank another one for the bike ride or walk home. I was like 16, but shit, they didn't care. I told them, man, give me as many hours as you can. I was working till 1 o'clock in the morning after we closed the store. So me and I had another buddy named Jesse. He lived off Fruit Ridge, and so we walk home together. And man, we just drink the 40s on the way home. and so anyway, but I was thinking what minimum wage was $4.75 back then, or $5.75.
It was low.
I think it was $5.75. I want to say it's $5.75. A little bit. It's more than $5. Anyway, I was working about 30-ish hours a week on average and got paid every 2 weeks. So I mean, I was getting about 400 about that. And I mean, what you were at Sports Smart, I think, or whatever, Sports Authority, whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
Sports Smart, selling shoes.
And you were making a little bit more than minimum wage there.
A little bit.
And you were still pulling about a little over 4 every 2 weeks. So that was about it.
Enough to buy some Jordans and get a polo shirt.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's what it was. I lived with my pops at the time, and then I went back and forth, and I was living with my mom was off Fruit Ridge and Vista. And the necessities to live function were being paid by my mom and dad. But now all the extracurricular bullshit that they weren't giving it.
Nope.
Yeah.
You want your own shoes?
Yeah, my pops took me, let me go to the Old Navy and get some. I did typical, even at teenage, still the typical, buy 1 or 2 pairs of jeans, a couple shirts, whatever. Sweat. When you got some 2 or 3 new fits for school.
Yep.
And you had to, make it work.
Yep.
And then you get some new shoes, and until Christmas or whatever, or their birthday, and then that was it. There was no. There was no nothing. We know how it was, man. There was no. You didn't expect anything.
Yep.
So worked at McDonald's, and that was for the extra shit, like going to the movies.
Yeah. Bullshitting with friends.
I mean, even buying weed.
Yep.
Buying clothes and all that other horse shit. The extra shit that you want to do as a kid.
Yep.
And that's what McDonald's was for. And I wasn't complaining.
Yep.
And
we were happy to work.
Yeah. And you know what? A majority of everybody else there I knew was around between 16 to about 20, 21, 22 years old, whatever, either going to school or college, whatever, and that was it.
Yep.
I knew knowing there it was a minimum wage job, but I just wanted a job because I just wanted money. A couple $100 is all I needed.
Yep.
There was a guy there, an older cat, that he was he got out. He did a lot of time in prison and all this sort of shit. Old school North End dude. Probably about his late 30s or whatever like that. Maybe probably around my age now, but back even remembering these these people look older to you, even though they're like oh man, he was 28, but he looked old. You still picture him being older than you now.
Exactly.
So and he had a wife and she had I think 2 or 3 kids, whatever like that. But Pat was a hustler though, man. He was, because he knew that even with his criminal background, that was still that was a legitimate job.
Yep.
So his wife worked too, but I mean he worked 40, 50 hours a week overtime. And he was on track to become a manager, which would have got him a pay raise of $10, $11 an hour.
Yep. And
his plan was to make a career at McDonald's, but he knew to be able to make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, he was going to have to go and become, assistant store manager, definitely store manager, and that's what he wanted to do. And that's when I learned that store managers at McDonald's make some nice money.
They make good money.
They make their own schedule. They make about 40, 50, depending on they get a cut, a bonus, a cut of the profit of the store. They're making some nice cash, but they paid their dues. And they stuck out with it, and obviously they had the aptitude to run a business. At that level, it's not even that you're a manager. Oh, you're a manager at McDonald's. No, you're managing a business.
Yep.
A business is business.
Yep.
A business, and it's even by academic definition. You can go look it up. A business is an entity that is created to sell products or services to generate a profit. Businesses only exist to make money for the owners of the company. That's it. That's what businesses do. Yep. And different business models operate on different profit margins, and those also dictate on pay and salary. Now, we all know anybody who has, and most people who start a business in America usually want to start a restaurant. They think it's easy. What they don't realize, and people maybe they do, is that you're dealing with food, which is highly regulated, and also has a very limited shelf life, literally. Those hamburger patties and all this, depending on what you do, is not going to last forever. And, after a while, so many days, you have to throw the stuff out, and you throw away a lot of, McDonald's, we threw away a lot of stuff because it can only sit in the heater or whatever so long. Exactly. So, therefore, you have to run a tight ship because there's little room for error because you are making very little money off this stuff. the stuff, because I mean now this was back in the day when they were selling they had hamburger and cheeseburger day for what was it, 39 cents.
Oh yeah, every Tuesday it was like
Tuesday was
39
hamburger and then Sundays was cheeseburgers. Man, I remember
Yep.
there was shifts where I go to 8 hours just nonstop cheeseburgers.
Yep.
And fools would just come in there, and they were hoping to buy a soda, some French fries, they made some money.
Yep.
The cheeseburgers lure you in, they're hoping you buy something else at full profit, and then they broke even. But the point of the matter is that due to the fact that they sell, these places like fast food places sell cheap food at cheap prices, you cannot have people there. You just simply cannot afford to have people making $10, $15 an hour. The majority of work for. Maybe your management can, but then again, they're running the business. But trust me, man, I learned how to do every basic function of that job within a week.
Yeah, it's not too difficult.
Exactly, and that makes you easily replaceable. Because look, this job is easy. It's easy to learn now, and I'm not saying it's not hard work and you can't hustle and you're not sweating and shit like that. Yeah. But the problem is that if you don't want to work there, and everybody knows that McDonald's like a revolving door, people come and go there. There's going to be 15, 20, 50, 60, 100 other people waiting in line to come by and take your job. And within a week, they're going to be just trained just as well as you, for the most part. Now, I get there's personal effort you put in the job. If there's somebody's going to be, man, I'm making fries, I'm going to be the best damn fry. I'm going to be on it.
Yep.
And those people also probably are also, I'm assuming, they're putting the 110% effort into that job, even though, because they're looking at they're eyeballing the next position. But the people are just there just to be there, just because they need a job, they just need to pay some bill, whatever. I'm not trying to knock them, but those jobs simply cannot. That industry, restaurant industry, and all, they cannot. It was never any business like that in the restaurant food service industry is not designed to have people make that much money, because you also have the large staff on hand too to be able to make the food and things like that.
Some of these stores are 24 hours.
Think how many people work at an Applebee's. You got the hostess, you got the servers, you got the bus boys, you got the bartenders, all these people, and these people they get paid minimum wage, and that's in California.
And tips.
They do
get tips.
I have a buddy that's family's been running a restaurant, Italian restaurant. I was in the Army with him back in 2004. My buddy Johnny D. They run a fine dining seafood restaurant in Maine. And in Maine, I asked him, how much, this is years ago, because I wrote a business plan for a bar and restaurant, because that's what I wanted to, that's an idea I had to make as a business start. And he said, and where he's at, he pays them half a minimum wage plus tips. If in a lot of other states, if you work in an industry where you traditionally get tips, a lot of times you're exempt from having to be paid the state's minimum wage there. But California, they say no matter what you work, you still have to get paid minimum wage. So people in California are actually a little bit ahead of the game, at least as far as waitresses and waiters and things like that you still get your minimum wage plus you get your tips.
Yep.
Bartenders and whatnot. Now I know McDonald's you don't get tips or whatever like that, but I mean you apply at a place like McDonald's or Burger King or Carl's Jr. knowing you're not going to get tips. But see, that's the thing, motherfucker. You took a job that you knew wasn't going to pay you no more than minimum wage.
Exactly.
And now you whine about it because you're still there and you haven't moved up. But why haven't you moved up? Why haven't you advanced yourself? I don't get people say we got to support families and whoop whoop whoop, and I get it, man. But what about the business owners?
Yeah.
A lot of these places that these guys are independent. I mean, there's franchises, and forget McDonald's and these corporate franchise places. Just think about your average mom and pop restaurant. They have a couple employees. You don't realize they're already paying workman's comp on all their workers there, which is a shitload of money.
Yep. Healthcare too, mandatory healthcare.
Now they have to do that. And excuse me. Now they have to pay. Your payroll's going to double. Wow. And these food service industries are already competitive. So now you're like, shit, man. I was selling a gourmet burger for $10, but now I'm going to be losing money if I keep you're going to have to raise prices. And now some people may just be like, dude, a good ass hamburger I'll pay $10 for. Am I $15, $16, $17 for hamburger, dude? I can.
You're not selling that many hamburgers now.
I'm gonna be at home. Now, you're gonna hurt the business.
Yep.
Now some people may flat out lose their jobs altogether.
Yeah. When I was in Seattle, they enforced the mandatory health care situation and the minimum wage hikes. And next thing I knew, when I went to McDonald's, guess how I ordered my burger? Through a kiosk, through a computer. People lost their jobs. So you either want to work for whatever the minimum wage is now, and have a job, or lose your job and computers take over. Because sooner or later, McDonald's won't even have a dine-in. It will just be a building where 2 or 3 people run it and cook stuff.
That shit's gonna be like a replicator from, gonna be like Capricorn Earl Grey hot.
Yep, and then you'll just have to go to the drive-thru, and there'll be someone that will take your money and hand you your sandwiches. But other than that, there won't be any real customer service. Not like there really is that much now. But
McDonald's, a lot of these other places already have some. A lot of the process is automated.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got the moment the person says they want a large Coke. The drive-through, that triggers that machine there to get the large Coke, drop it, fill it, and it's already ready to go.
Yep, they're already going that route.
They're already automating the stuff that they can.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, they're going to replace the kiosk. And you want to know, the technology for a kiosk and all that shit has been there.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason they haven't done it yet is because as humans, we would always pick human interaction. And you know this from to talk to so-and-so, press 1. Thank you, we value your call. Yeah, you value my call, but you don't even have a motherfucker to answer me.
Exactly.
In real life. And it takes you out to hit all these prompts, and people, we all know we hate that shit.
Yeah, some people are not computer savvy either.
And even I am computer savvy, but I still like human interaction. I'd rather deal with a live person than all this automated shit anyway.
Exactly.
And also because I fear Terminators and Skynet too. Mm-hmm. I don't want these things trying to come to me and attack me later on, and John Connor and all that horse shit. I'm cool off that. But I digress. So that's why they haven't instituted the kiosk, because you know what? People like dealing with the person.
Yep.
So we're going to have people here. But now it's got the point, look, we can't afford to have a person here because they want fucking $15, $16 an hour. We can't afford to pay people that, and our profit margin is going to basically disappear, and we're going to be losing money by being in business. Well, that's not what a business is not in business to lose money. It's there to make money.
Exactly.
Just like how you as an employee or whoever goes to work is there to make money, not lose money.
Exactly.
If I tried to tell you a job, hey man, I'm going to hire you to come do a bunch of work, and you're actually going to lose $5 a day. Mm-hmm. You'd be like, man, I ain't doing that shit. Fuck I look like. But then people complain about all they care about is money. Motherfucker, that's why people start businesses to make money.
Exactly.
Why does your ass go to work? To make money.
Exactly.
Don't act like it's a charity shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this one time when I used to sell cars back in the day. I don't come to work because you pay me. I come to work to get paid.
Exactly.
So then it's all good for all of us, for the employees, to say, oh, I need more money. But then people complain when businesses want more money.
Exactly.
What's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Now I can see if a business is making hella money and they didn't spread it around to people, like to give some raises and all that sort of shit. But like I said, man, these food service jobs were never designed to be support families and do this. It was jobs for kids, young adults, going to school, and if you were going to make a career out of it, and there's nothing wrong with it, a lot of people, start off like that. I mean, this got the local business, Gunther's Ice Cream's been in they just celebrated 75 years in Sacramento.
75 years.
And they, the owner, Rick Klopp and Mark, that's all he did was he used to sell, he started scooping ice cream as a teenager, and then he just had right place, right time, opportunities to end up, he went from one company and there working at Gunther's, and the owners at the time said, hey, we want to sell it. Do you want to buy it? He said, because he was their manager, managing the store for him. But that was a guy that had the aptitude, and he took it seriously, and those people were just selling ice cream. But you know what? Yeah, to the people working there and the kids and all that working there, they're just, I'm just selling ice cream, whatever like that. But to the people who own it, they're running a business, a very successful business, a respectable business.
Yep. And
they actually pay they start you off at minimum wage. But I know for a fact, even their shitty employees, they end up giving them a raise because, they just, I don't know why, that's what the owners do. Oh, give 50 cents, $1 here, whatever like that. Very few people, unless you're brand new for the summer, are making minimum wage. If you make it there a year, you're definitely making more than minimum wage.
Yep.
And I know their profit margin's small too. I mean, because, you're dealing with dairy and all this other sort of stuff. And I know even when they hire people there, they ask how many hours you're looking to get, and then people say, well, if you got somebody say, well, I'm looking for, we don't do full time. There's very few full time positions. Those are only for the people there who put in some years. I know the guy who manufactures is full time, and their manager's full time, and some other people there get 40 something more hours. But these are people who are management, manufacturers. You can make a sundae or banana split, but it's not. But making ice cream is actually not easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be taught and trained, but it takes a long time. Remember the recipe. But not only that, you're regulated by the dairy board and the dairy inspector and food inspector, about 3 or 4 other agencies. So you have to know your shit has to be tight. If not, you're getting fined. So obviously the head manufacturer, he has a valuable skill for that business that they have to pay him, you know, $40-something thousand.
Skill equals pay, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen.
Skill equals pay. And for him to get that profession, it took a couple years of him doing that job on the regular. And he also does a lot of other stuff, business-wise related, because owners can't do it all.
Yep.
So like you said, now did it take a college degree to do that? No, but it took a hard work ethic, some aptitude, and some training to do it, and the willingness to do it, and also the willingness to pay your dues at the lower level to get to it. You know, and that's it. But you can't come in off the street and go up in there and say, I want to make as much as he does.
No.
Because I see him with a nice car and he bought a house. Why can't I do that? Well, because it doesn't work that way. He's worked his way here. He stuck it out through loyalty, and we trained him, and that's how it goes.
Yep. Is it me, or is it in America that we frown upon successful businesses that are making money, and a lot of people seem to be like, well, you're making millions and millions of dollars. We need to spread the wealth, meaning, you know, we want some money. That isn't. How do you feel about that attitude?
Well, that goes deep in the rabbit hole right there, man. How far back you want me to break it down? I'll break it down. That is, you know, I love American history. I love history in general. I love history because history tells you why things are the way they are today. And I don't mean the bullshit history that you get taught all the way up to high. I'm talking about the real, legitimate college professors that really want to just not sugarcoat anything and tell you the good and the bad of the United States. Mm-hmm. We always bash on this country, but let's face it, it has a lot of good shit going for it nonetheless. Yeah, we have our problems, but who doesn't?
Yep. And
we're working through them, and that's why we're discussing the problems and what we got going on. Now, anyway, there's something about America sociologically and culturally that we're all, as Americans, are ingrained with, and it's actually a contrasting issue. When you go to the movies and watch action movies, who's always the hero? Especially from like the 80s sort of stuff, even nowadays. What's this movie with The Rock that came out? San Andreas or some shit? Yep. He's a rescue worker. But I didn't even see the movie. I already know what it is. It's the same form. So he's some government or somebody in a position that can, under extreme circumstances, be okay to break the rules of society or whatever. And I think he tries to save his family, and he does whatever he has to do to go save his family through all this earthquake chaos and all this sort of stuff. You know, on his own with no help. Same thing with, you know, Lethal Weapon and the lone cop that, you know, goes in a big shootout with all the bad guys, take down the drug lords, and, you know, and he does it on his own. Oh, wait for backup, Murdoch. No, I'm going in. Boom, boom, boom. Big old shootout with a 9mm that only holds 10 rounds, but somehow he shoots 5,000 with no reload. You know, but what do they call that? What is that? The rugged individual. We value the picking the Horatio Alger, came from nothing, picked yourself up by your own bootstraps, made something of yourself. You know, you did it on your own. We all value that. Look at why we like somebody that, you know, some people like Jay-Z. Yeah. These guys that you know, I'm independent. Yeah. And we did nothing. We made the deal and we hustled him, and, you know, whatever else the story is. I don't care what the whole deal of is the politics. I don't give a shit. I'm just using it as a general example. You know, these guys, that's what we like, that the rugged individual. The guys that are all like, oh, even in the hip hop industry, I'm independent. I sell my shit on iTunes and whatever. Now I do my shit on my own. I don't need, you know, what, and we like that. Yep. Because of that. Now that comes from during when what would eventually become the U.S. when the Europeans first got to the English. They established was the Roanoke, Virginia colony. And then the Puritans established the New England colony, the Pilgrims, as they would, you know. See, a lot of people know about the Pilgrims. A lot of people don't know about, kids won't learn about the Roanoke colony, because the Roanoke colony was established purely to farm and plant and grow tobacco. Okay. So, of course, they're not going to talk about that in schools. But then they leave out a very important part of what some of the founding attitudes were. So who went to Roanoke, Virginia colonies? Indentured servants, and people who thought they were going to come and conquer their way to riches like Cortez did with the Aztecs and all that sort of stuff. So these are all people that are coming here solely for their own gain, because in England, the class system they had there, they said the road, you knew that if you were at the bottom, that was it. You're at the bottom.
Yeah.
But in the colonies, they thought it was an open market, open field. I'm gonna go there and find some way to make it rich, and I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna go be a frontiersman or whatever like that. So all these guys went to go, to work at these tobacco plantations, hopes of, on their own, go strike it big. You do it on your own. You don't need help from anybody else. Now, in the New England colonies, the Puritans were a very tight-knit group. Very powerful, too. We'll get into that some other time. They were not like these helpless, religiously persecuted people. They actually went to the U.S. to get away from what they thought was a corrupt society in England.
Okay.
And the Puritans were actually so powerful that for a while, they actually overthrew the King of England, took over Parliament, and had Oliver Cromwell as the Lord High Protector of the realm.
Wow.
So for them being a religiously persecuted minority, they sure did take over England for a long time, and they only lost power after he died. And I think he was in power for at least 10, 15 years.
Wow.
The Puritans were also what basically would have been a middle class. They were very good at business, and they actually started shipping. That's why Boston had so much shipping, because they were shipping people. And even though they were against slavery, ironically, they had no problem transporting the cargo from Africa. But anyway, I digress. That's another time. But what the Puritans believed is that it takes a village. That sin was so rampant in human nature that you had to be constant. The community had to watch itself, to police itself, to make sure you refrained from sinning.
Yeah.
And they had a very big sense of community. If you were sick, you would be taken care of. Everybody helped build the village. It was a communal socialist setup there.
Oh, okay. Use that word.
Socialist. So it was a socialist setup. Because they were all collectively for each other.
Okay.
They stuck together. They were all very wealthy, very educated people. And in Roanoke, Virginia, that was definitely make money at all costs. Pure capitalist idea mentality down there.
Okay. So
at the founding of the U.S., you have the New England colony that values community, sacrificing your own individuality to help the group, taking care of society, basically a socialist sort of community thing, and they valued and championed that. And in the Roanoke, Virginia colony, they value the rugged individual, the person that takes risks, does it on his own, and what he makes is his, etc.
Okay.
So, but what do you have there? You have so in the United States, you get bombarded, but how do we do both? Mm-hmm. We value the guy, self-made man, the rugged individual, and at the same time, we value the person who gives back to the community, that helps make the community a better place, that gives up. And yet, both times, we tell them each one's also equally bad and good.
Yeah.
And that's why. Mm-hmm. That, to me, and a lot of people say that, and if you think of that, I think that's why, because that's just inherent, and that has built up to us. Just like in the United States, we generally, as Americans, don't like being told what to do. Uh-huh. We don't really like government. We never trusted government. That's our founding fathers. Even then, our founding fathers even say government is not to ever be trusted.
Exactly.
And that's why we naturally don't like the police or anybody telling us what to do. Mm-hmm. And these are all things from the founding of the country.
Yep.
And they stay with us because it's day one culture.
Yep.
And that's us as Americans are like that. And so that's why the same people that want to go and get a job and make money and do it on their own value that, and at the same time criticize companies and other places that want to do the same. Why aren't you giving back? Why aren't you giving back? Why aren't you giving back? No matter how much you give back, it's never enough. Exactly. Now I'm not saying I'm all for big business corporations and they're people too, and all these Bernie Madoffs or these corporate these people that just destroy just greed. But let's face it, man. Most businesses are small businesses. People don't understand a small business is anything from the single guy who's a plumber, Joe the plumber, whatever. It's just him and his son, going all day long fixing people's, toilets and shit like that.
Yep.
Literally shit like that. All the way up to even a company that may be, make a couple $1 million a year. Mm-hmm. But he only has 50 to 100 employees. Those are small businesses.
Yep. You're sitting in a small business, too.
Exactly. Yeah.
T-shirt press.
Exactly.
Studio.
That is it. This is all small business. And even if you get to the point where you actually have to hire 10 or 15 people to have a print shop, and even if you're money or dude, that's still a small business.
Yep.
You can make a couple mil and still be a small business.
Yep.
Big business is oil companies.
Yep. Your Walmarts.
Exactly. Okay, I'll put it like this. If you're in the millions, you still small business. When you're in the billions and trillions, that's the big business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if GM or Ford only made $1 million in profit, they're gonna be pissed. That ain't shit. If your T-shirt company made $100,000 in profit, you're gonna be like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so people don't realize that these small businesses are still ran by a family or one guy that built it up, or one woman or whatever.
Yep.
You know, and their chances are they're really not the businessman had, you know, $1 million in sales. That doesn't mean that they're getting that. That still has to go back to pay your employees, to pay the rent, to pay this, to pay that, pay for the materials.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, yeah, that person who owns the business may only be taking, I'm not going to say only, but yeah, they may be taking home 50 or 60,000, 70,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I talked to this guy that owned a Mountain Mike's franchise, and he told me that, you know, at the end, after he paid everybody off, he's making about $5-6 grand a month. Shit, that, you know, I mean, that's good. That's okay money, but he ain't rich by any means.
Yep. And
then when his employees are, well, blah, 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 he say, hey, man, you know, there's not a lot of profit margin here. Yeah, I mean, you know, they look at him, well, you're making 50 or 60 grand. Yeah, but I own the place. I also put up my house to buy it, and I'm the one that assumes all the risk. If this place goes under, out of business, I'm ass out. My family, we're losing my home and all that. You just go find another job, another pizza place.
Exactly.
The risk and the reward.
Yep.
You know, so I digress. Where were we going with all this? So, but anyway, I mean, I know I went too long, but to answer the question, I think that's why people villainize companies making money, and at the same time, you know, want to make money themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of ridiculous, but that's the I used to have a term for it that I used to call it. It's the not the irony, but not dichotomy. I forgot what it was, but of the American identity. We like the person who sacrificed themselves for the good of society, and at the same time, we also like the person who says, "Fuck it, I'm doing me," which literally, you know, was that fuck you, I'm doing me. I'm gonna do what I want to do and live my life and be successful. Fuck everybody else. Don't we both admire? We admire both that shit, and we celebrate it both equally.
Yep.
And we also villainize it.
Yep.
It's a hypocritical thing. But you know, in America, we are a hypocritical culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what it is. So it's like, oh, why can't these companies give back more money? You know, blah blah blah. Well, shit, why don't you sacrifice and give them some time for free?
Exactly.
Oh no, I'm not doing that because I go to work to get paid. Well, these guys have a business to get paid. You know.
That's a good point.
You know, like me personally, if I, God willing, if I had a successful small business, as the business grew and there was more money, yeah, the people, especially the people that were there with me from the beginning and your good work, I'm going to give them something. They're going to get something. You know, I'm going to reward the people that helped make me successful. And as we make more money, yeah, you're going to get some raises because that's what I believe in.
Yep.
You know, but now new people right off the street, unless it's a skilled job or something like that, you ain't going to get, you know, you're not going to be at the top of these other guys all right off the bat.
Exactly. Unless
you're doing something that they can't do. Like if I own an engineering company, I got to build a suspension bridge across the Bay Area. Yep. There's only 4 people that are certified to be able to design it. Yeah. Because that guy's going to be, I'll design that bridge and sign off on it because he's also assuming the risk by saying that it's mathematically, scientifically sound.
Yep.
But guess what he wants? I want $300,000.
Yep.
Up front.
Yep. Got to make his paper.
And people are like, man, that's a lot of money. That guy just to do some 2 months worth of work. Well, you know, who else can design this bridge and make sure it's certified and do that? And but then again, on top of that, how much is this? But if he did by paying that guy that $300,000, how much money is that engineering construction company going to make from the state or whatever like that for building the bridge?
Exactly.
Millions, or not billions, a lot. So there you go.
Yep.
But guess what? The person who designed that, that's a smart motherfucker.
Yep.
That's a dude that went and took. He didn't go get a bullshit. You know, like me, like trying to get a history degree, and I'm not saying that, but he went and got a hard science degree, not a social science, not a theoretical thing, you know, not a I'm a communication major or this or that sort of shit. I'm not knocking communication, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yep.
This motherfucker went to some shit. Either answer's right or wrong. This ain't like what we're doing right now. You know, there really is no right or wrong answer. No. 1 + 1 equals 2. There is no if, ands, or but. If you can't figure that out, then your ass is F, motherfucker.
Yep.
And he had to go to get a bachelor's degree, or she had to go get a bachelor's degree, probably a master's.
Yep.
And then you have to take a goddamn test that is hard as shit that most people fail, even after all that work, to be able to get your engineering stamp in a specific field. And on that, you also take the liability and risk because once they give you that stamp, they're certifying that when you approve blueprints of project, you have checked everything and know that that is scientifically sound to be built and will withstand the specifications that they need it to do.
Yep.
So, risk versus reward.
Skill equals pay.
Exactly. Skill equals pay. Skill equals pay. Ease of jobs equals pay. Yeah, I know digging a ditch or doing this, that's hard, back-breaking work.
Yep.
But guess what? Anybody can come in and get a shovel and start digging a ditch.
Yeah, and most of those guys don't even make minimum wage. They get paid well. It's labor intensive, and things of that nature.
That's the other caveat.
And unions and all that kind of stuff.
That's another caveat to that, and a lot of times that's also still skilled labor to a certain degree. But that's the other caveat to that. That one of my Army buddies who works for the railroad said that and he actually has a pretty hard job and he gets paid some pretty good money. But the thing is, he also said because he tells his soldiers there's two ways to make a good living in America. Either you're going to do some fucked up, dangerous, shitty shit that nobody else wants to do, so they're going to have to pay a lot of money to get somebody to come and do it, make it worth your while to go do it.
Yep.
Or you're going to have to go and be smart as shit and find something else that not too many people are smart enough to do.
Yep. That's true.
And he was a wireman, which is a technical job unto itself. You're working with, satellites and needed a line of sight, microwave transmissions. So that's obviously not just something anybody else can come and do. But at the same time, even people who know how to do that don't want to climb no 300-400 foot towers either and hang out there for an hour or whatever like that and know for a fact you have a good chance of falling off that shit and dying.
Yep.
So that's why there's a little bit of extra pay for that line of work.
Liability pay.
Exactly. So hey man, we know the chances of great bodily injury or death or some shit's possible, so we're gonna give you some extra money on top of that.
Yep.
But then you got these motherfuckers like, well, I don't want to learn how to do that, and I'm not going to do that anyways. But I want to get paid as much as they do, motherfucker.
Exactly. So I got a video that I'm going to show everybody before we go to the next segment. And I'm going to play it. And
while he's doing that, I'm going to get me some more coffee, man, because I'm getting amped up, boy. We in it live.
All right. So here we go. Here goes the video. And you tell me how you feel about this and what you see that might be wrong with this picture.
I don't deserve a living wage.
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 It's not that I'm socioeconomically disadvantaged.
If I just work really hard, I can get that 10-cent raise.
That's like 80 cents more a day.
That's almost $300 more a year.
You know what they say, mo money, mo problems.
Corinne, it's not like I have hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams. Who needs them?
Raise a family?
In this economy?
My kids will just have to fend for themselves.
Pay rent or eat?
I'll just eat these leftovers.
I could always sell my blood or something.
I guess I could sell my bass guitar.
Sometimes I get orders wrong because I have 3 jobs and I only get 4 hours of sleep a night.
I only have one job because I have to take care of my grandpa.
I would love to go back to school to get a better paying job, but I've got to stay at this job to pay rent and bills and the car and feed the kids and the school loans from the last time I went to school.
College? That's for rich people.
Minimum wage.
We're passing the savings.
On to you.
On to you.
On to you.
Alright, so I don't know if you saw what was wrong with that picture, but as you can see, none of those positions were skilled jobs. The caretaker one...
Well, home health care, I can argue for that.
Yeah, the caretaker one, that's a tough job. You're wiping asses, you're taking care of people, showering people, dealing with
they should
old,
get paid more.
shitty
But that's also, like I said, you want to make some money, you're either going to be smart enough to do some shit that not everybody else can do, or you're going to do a job that's hella shitty, in that case, literally, that not many people want to do.
So that's the one job in that whole video that I absolutely agree that they should get paid more money. Everyone else, a grocery bagger, fast food cook, and the other person in there was a waitress. She gets tips, so she's making more than all the other people in this video, but you pretty much get the point of where I was going with it. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, I think the home health care work, because you know what, if I'm an elderly person, I want somebody who's really going to care and take care of me. So in order to get the best, you got to pay for the best.
Yep.
And I think those people deserve something, because that's a hard job. A lot of time they have to live there or whatnot have you. So they should. I mean, that's not a minimum wage job by any means.
Exactly.
And a lot of times they have to be. And a lot of times they have to be some sort of. I don't want to knock.
They have to have some.
So yeah, a lot of them have to be like an LVN or whatever, licensed vocational nurse or something like that, and have CPR stuff. See, those are skills though.
Yep.
That you actually have to go to school Even though some people may be like a vocational school, like Healed or whatever, one of those places, or go through your local community college, that still is some year or two of education and certification, and yes, they should get more money.
Exactly.
You know, now that particular thing is an insurance industry sort of related gig, which insurance industry is horse shit anyway, because they never want to pay motherfuckers anything, healthcare and all that. So you know, they only go, we're only going to pay so much for so much care. So that's kind of even outside of the realm of it, because even if as their employer from the home health care agency would want to pay you more, they can't, because the insurance company is only going to pay them so much for their contract.
Yeah, I had a friend in Seattle that was a home in-care worker, and the person that she was caring for was paying $4,500 a month. She was only getting paid $10 an hour. With one other person, there was 2 shifts, of, I guess like 12 hours each or something like that. So the agency got half of that $4,000. She got whatever piece, and the other person, and it basically wasn't split, you know, even close to even. They were making a pretty good profit at the agency.
They were, the home healthcare workers getting a fraction of. But see, another thing, I wonder how much that $4,500 had to go towards. The company had to take that because they had to pay insurance, liability insurance. Workman's comp for the employee, liability insurance stuff to cover them in case the employee gets sued or something like that for malpractice, some shit like. But see, like I said, that's all related to insurance stuff with the healthcare industry, which that's fucked up anyway, because insurance companies don't produce anything; they just take your money.
Yep, they put it in a pot
and they leverage it. They leverage. They're basically gambling that nobody will make a major claim. And they just keep the money if nobody makes a claim. It's all pure profit.
Exactly.
So fuck them. Those people should get some more money. They need to do some more regulation on the insurance company. They also need to do some revamp and get rid of frivolous lawsuits and whatnot have you. But I don't want to go too far on that one. So home healthcare workers, I'm with you 100% on that one.
I definitely.
I'm with you 100% on that one. The waitress, she's getting tips.
Yep.
You know, and she said, "Oh, I forgot. I got a couple orders wrong. So basically, you cost your employer money." Yep. Because of being incompetent. And because I only got 4 hours of sleep. That's not my problem.
When you clock in, you work for me. When you clock out, you do your own thing.
And you know, let's face it though, man. I mean, you know what? And I know there's going to be people out there going to hear this stuff. I hear you, man. But you know what? You got to understand. What did we say the whole reason? Why does a business exist? To sell goods or services to generate profit. And what do you want? You want to, and as a business, this is business 101. As a business, what do you want to maximize? Assets, limit liabilities. As an employee, I expect you to be an asset to me. That's why I pay you. Now, if you start messing up and be fucking up on taking orders and shit, for whatever your personal reasons are, you are now costing me money. You're not generating profit. You're actually generating a loss. You're becoming a liability. Hey, and and they say, well, I have to work too. Hey, I get it. You have a problem. Everybody has their problems, but you can't look to me to be the fixture, the fixture of it. This is my business model. I can't afford to pay you more than that because it's just not there.
Yeah, it's not feasible.
And you know what? And this is the other thing. If I get forced by law to have to double everybody here's pay, I'm going to have to raise my prices. Business basically
and fire some people.
I'm going to have to fire some people.
Yep.
I'm going to have to let you go. Sorry
about that.
Yeah, we're gonna get $50 a raise. Here goes your pink slip. Sorry. Why is that? I gotta cut labor. I just can't afford to keep. I can't have 10 people here.
Yep.
And not only that, I'm projecting, the business is gonna go down or whatever like that. Come back in 6 months, or I'll call you if things get good again. Things stay the same, and if I can afford it. But in the meantime, right now, I just don't know how things are gonna go. I have to trim. Yep. Because you know what? Food costs keep going up. The liquor guy just said they got to raise prices. My insurance just went up. Other things are going up.
All kinds of factors.
Other things are going up, and I just, the only thing I can really, and I still can't, I can only raise my price so much and still convince people to come here, eat. The only thing I really have any sort of control over is labor, and so that's the first thing people cut, because that's the first thing you can control to get the costs down.
Yep.
It's just the nature. That's just the nature of business, man.
Yep.
So, too many people don't know how it works.
Yeah, they don't know how it works, but they want more.
They just exactly.
So,
and you know what? If you want me to pay you more, I'm going to want more from you.
Exactly.
If you want that pay raise, why are you messing up on orders?
Exactly.
And I get you're tired. We're all tired.
Yep.
But that's not an excuse. That's
Exactly.
not an excuse, man. In the Army, you couldn't just be like, in the military, be like, oh, man, it was common not getting very much sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But you still had to be there and do your goddamn job because people are depending on you to do it.
Exactly.
You know, and if you can't hack it, then get out of there. And it's honestly not a company's issue, to fix your personal problems.
Exactly.
So that chick complaining about that, I think that's a bogus argument, because that's like that's a fallacious argument, because that is basically irrelevant to the employer-employee relationship.
Exactly.
Sorry, there's something out. There was another one that I noticed. The other guy working at the grocery store. I worked. Let me see. I went from as a kid, teenager. I went from McDonald's and the Round Table, which was a really fun job. I really had a good time there. Then ultimately, I went to got hired with Lucky's, a grocery store, which was actually a big business, but still locally owned, because they're only really in northern, California and areas around here, West Coast. That was a unionized job. So even though I was banging groceries, I think I got, instead of getting $5.75, I got like $7 an hour, which, golly, man, just a bag of groceries, get carts.
Yep.
And you end up getting, and I had health care and all that stuff. But see, that was a unionized job.
Yeah.
All the grocery stores are all unionized. United Food and Commercial Workers, something, whatever like that. And it was union. And the checkers, and also you were a bagger, a courtesy clerk, and that was whatever their negotiated rate was, which was like $7 an hour at the time. And then once a position opened up and you bid for it and you got it, then you got to the apprenticeship as a clerk, and then you went up to like $9 something an hour, or $10 an hour basically. That was a big raise. And then as so many hours you worked, you got step up, apprentice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ultimately becoming a journeyman clerk, getting about $19, $20 an hour. This is back in '99, 2000. That was good living.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in Rayleigh's and Bel Air and Safeway and all these grocery stores traditionally, even the mom and pop places, dude, those were like, a lot of people, dude, those are careers for people.
Yeah.
You had healthcare and all that. That's why they were unionized. They had a labor union. So I don't know what state that guy was in or what general thing like that, man. But grocery, at least in California, I don't know how much has changed. If that guy's a clerk and he ain't making, that means he can't make it off of anywhere between whatever their raise is, and he can't make it off of $20 an hour, which $20 an hour ends up being over 30, I think. Over 30. Damn near $40,000 a year. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. Now, if you end up having 5-6 kids, you know what? Your decisions in life that are costing you money, that's your own problem too.
Exactly.
Accountability. People end up saying, "Well, I got all these kids and all that sort of shit." Hey,
you
man,
made all these fuckers.
Yeah, you want to go get laid, man. You know what? If I decide I want to go raw on a chick, I mean that you gotta know the results of the consequences of that. She ends up getting knocked up. I mean that's on me and her. That's my problem. I can't go to my employer and just I got an extra kid now I got to pay child support for. And hey man, that ain't my issue. I pay you what I pay you, and you manage your money how you want to. It's also how you manage your life how you want to. So I think it's a bigger issue, and they say a living wage. I don't exactly know what that means. Is there a definition of that that people
There's
have?
a living wage depending on where you're at.
Yeah, but what do they mean? What do they mean by living wage? You see, that's the thing. We also use a lot of terms that most people don't even know what the fuck the definition is, and we all have our own perception. It's like when we discuss what racism is.
Yeah.
We use the actual academic definition of racism, which is to advocate a view or position that says that one race is inherently superior to another. And that goes back to when people make the fallacious false lie claim black people can't be racist. The fuck they can't. And the fuck they aren't. People of color can't be racist? Bullshit.
That's bullshit.
It doesn't say only anybody who racism is anybody who any white person advocates a position. That's traditional.
Yeah.
Because in the Western world, Anglo-Saxon or Caucasian white people are the dominant group. So yeah, they have the advantage. So they have the power to enforce racism. But that doesn't mean that other people of other color in the society can't be racist themselves.
Exactly. And that's going to be another subject we're going to also talk about in the very next
but I'm just using that as an example that let's define what we mean by certain things first.
Exactly.
And then go from there.
Exactly.
What is the definition of a living wage? I don't know. Can we look that up? Is there any way we can do that?
Let's see.
What's living wage? Because see, let's define what people mean by living wage, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Pull this up on the other computer here. And this is going to be our closing
I'm
for
a little bit more amped up.
this is going to be our closing segment for this, but we are going to extend the show a little bit so that we can discuss this other topic we have. We're going to spend about maybe 15-20 minutes on that, but we're going to give you a bonus 20 minutes because this is our very first podcast. But normally this will be an hour-long show, but today we're just going to go in a little bit extra just for you guys. Give you a little taste of what we're going to do in the future.
The hour mark is what we're going to try to hit, but just sometimes, man, sometimes motherfuckers just got to just say some shit.
You give this guy this big jug of coffee, we're going to go for more than an hour.
Yeah. Living wage definition right there. Oh, just go back. Say living wage. No, go back. Right there, definition.
All right.
A wage that is high enough to maintain a normal standard of living. Well, what is a normal standard of living now?
Exactly.
Now let's look up a normal standard of living.
Sure, I'll let you do that, sir. Yeah, and to me, it still is about where you're at. Because if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, and you're making $10 an hour, but your rent is only $500 a month, you are living pretty damn good.
Other people look this up because nobody's putting. Look at Google's already populating normal standard living definition. Mm-hmm. See, other people.
But in California, if you're making $10 an hour, that's not going to work out so well for you. But just to me, it depends on where you're at.
Now, see, definition of standard living: the level of wealth, comfort, material goods, and necessities available to a certain socioeconomic class in a certain geographic area. So. What is, see, we got to keep going deeper in the rabbit hole here.
See?
So the standard of living is the level of wealth, comfort, material, goods, and necessities available to certain socioeconomic class, certain geographic areas. That's still ambiguous because my standard of living is maybe different from yours, mm-hmm. maybe different from the other person's. Mm-hmm. What is it that people, what is the standard of living? What is the living wage that they want? Are they talking about, I'm going to assume, if we just get down to the real, they're talking about basically being middle class. Mm-hmm. Having a home, maybe a car, health insurance, and all that sort of stuff, mm-hmm. which I'm all for that. Mm-hmm. Because the middle class is what sustains the entire America. They're mm-hmm. also the ones that get fucked with the most.
Yep.
The rich don't pay shit, and the poor sure how don't pay shit,
mm-hmm.
but both those extreme ends get everything.
Exactly. That's a good point.
But at the same time, you want to make enough money to get to the minimum wage. To the middle class. You got to hit the markers and the key success of the middle class too. Normally, having some sort of skill or trade or technical knowledge or some mm-hmm. sort of degree to be able to get the employment that pays that level to be able to get there. Mm-hmm. You got to put the work in, man. Yes. Ain't nobody. It's just like this, man. I'm gonna make this analogy, and that's it, man.
This is in closing here. 3 minutes.
I'm gonna go straight to the hood shit.
All right.
Because that's what motherfucker. Y'all know that when you all start getting in the game, you ain't gonna be the fucking having all the 3 or 4 trap houses right off the bat, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You selling the rock on the corner from the Punjab on 24th and Florin, making no money, paying your dues. Mm-hmm. Why? Because the motherfuckers who running the shit paid their dues too.
Yep.
And they're gonna be damned if you're gonna come in as nothing, thinking you come into the dope game and start trying to flip keys and shit up in their territory. Or just be like, oh man, I don't want to slang rock on the corner. I want to be up in the trap house bagging or making the big money. Nah, motherfucker. You put your work in first, and then we'll talk about you moving up making more money. Because that's what the fuck I had to do. Mm-hmm. And that's what the fuck everybody else had to do. Mm-hmm. You know, and the shit don't work out for you, don't work out for you. That's it.
Yep.
And you motherfuckers sitting home know what I'm talking about. Because let's really be real. And you also know there's just some shit like they're just dead-end jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And you in a dead-end job trying to say you want more shit. But what are you doing to improve your fucking self? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We can all just go and be a dead-end job. Mm-hmm. You know what I did? You know what, man? And I know it. Sometimes you need to make your own motherfucking opportunity.
Yep.
And I'm telling you what, man, as people cause minorities, you got to go make your own opportunity because they ain't trying to give you no opportunity.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I had to go take the route a lot of other people did. Man, I joined the military. I got technical training. And yeah, did I have a good chance of being shot and killed and all that sort of shit? But you know what? I'm living okay now. Because I had to go and, I had to go do some shit to fucking try to move up because there was not very many options, just like there isn't facing a lot of other people.
Yep.
But if you're saying, I'm not doing that, or I'm not saying you got to go join the military, but the point is you got to do something.
Yep.
Something. You got to do something to elevate yourself. Quit depending on other people to do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we can, and I'm going to end at that because, it's a deeper subject. We're going to talk about corporation, the other fucked up part right now. But it goes back. You knew what the job paid and where it was going to end up when you took it. Now all of a sudden you bitching that you want more shit. Mm-hmm. Motherfucker, you were complaining about that when you applied. When you apply to McDonald's and these food service industry places, you damn well know they pay minimum wage, motherfucker, and they ain't really going to pay you anymore.
Mm-hmm. Preach.
And that's it. And even in other fields, when I worked in wholesale for the HVAC industry for Carriage Large Corporation, the main way for you to make a pay raise was not to stay in the same position. They gave you a cost of living adjustment for maybe $1 or whatever, so that you can maintain where you're at with inflation.
Yep.
But if you wanted a big ass raise, you either had to apply and go to a new company and negotiate a higher pay because you were good at selling shit, or 2, stay with the company and either try to get into management or go to another department which paid more.
Yep.
But if you were just doing the same shit year after year in the same position and not advancing, you don't expect any major pay raises.
Exactly.
Just the way it goes. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now, motherfuckers may agree to disagree and say I'm whatever, and guess what? I don't give a fuck.
Leave some comments. We'd love to know what you're thinking about. Mm-hmm. So, this is a horrible way to go into another segue because it has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, but that's okay because we're going to talk about
that's our show. We do what the fuck we want.
That's why they call it the Walkalanious and DjTmos Show. So, all right. Our next segment here, we're going to spend a little bit of time on, 15 to 20 minutes, and someone's hitting up my phone. We are going to talk about women being harassed in public. And we're going to start this off by showing a particular video that you might have seen on the internet. It's gone viral. And we're going to let you check it out, and we're going to talk about it.
And, this is an older video, and a lot of people have seen it. That's why we're not going to spend too much time on it. But I just now personally saw it, and I wish we had... See, this is a good thing. See, that's why I'd like to have... I wish we had a female speaker in here, too, just to view. But anyway, I did ask a lot of my female friends I know on Facebook to watch the video, and I got a lot of feedback. But anyway, let's hit this up.
All right.
We don't need to play the whole thing, right? Just a little bit.
Okay. I think it's only about a minute.
Because everybody else seen this. You guys know this is the woman in walking around New York for 10 hours supposedly, and to see what people say to her.
Here we go. Wearing them tight ass clothes with a fat ass.
Yeah, man.
How you doing today?
Wow.
That's not good.
Wow.
What's up, beautiful? Have a good day. Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? Somebody's acknowledging you for being beautiful. She said thank you. Hey, baby. Hey, beautiful. How are you this morning?
Have a nice evening.
Nice. Damn. Damn.
Beautiful. God bless. Sexy American Eagle. Hello, good morning. God bless you. Have a good day, all right?
Now that's flat out being a creep right there.
Yeah, that's
this guy
creeper shit.
Is just following her around for 4 minutes so far. Just falling around. That is some creep shit. 5 minutes now. Fuck that guy.
How you doing? Good? Hey, look at that. It's $5,000. You want to talk? Huh? We can't be friends or nothing. You don't speak? If I give you my number, you can talk to me? No? Too ugly for you? What's up, man? How you doing? Nice evening, dog.
I just find it kind of bizarre how
The thirst is real. 100 instances of verbal street harassment took place within 10 hours involving people of all backgrounds. This doesn't include the countless winks, whistles, etc.
So, 10 hours of footage, I'm just going to guess that that's the worst that she saw that day. And saying hello or hi, I don't see that as harassment because that's not harassment. That's just acknowledging, hey, there's a pretty chick, hey, how you doing? Or anybody. You can say hi to anyone. If I said hi to some dude on the street, does that mean I'm harassing him? No. But, you know, you get the point of the video.
Yeah. Well, first off, to any females out there, I don't want to discount your concerns as a woman. I am raising 2 daughters myself. DjTmos has daughters of his own.
Yep.
And I don't want them discriminated about, harassed, touched, bothered, anything like that, because then you're gonna see what the fuck I do. They ain't gonna like that shit. But I'm also preparing them for the reality of the world too, which is a harsh place for anybody. And I know as a man, we have the benefit of male privilege. And there's a lot of things that women go through that I'll never personally experience, and I don't have to worry about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, so like I said, I understand. The idea of a not subversion, but I understand the sense of rape culture. I understand the concern of being sexually assaulted. I understand. I get that. I get it. Man rape. That is some. I don't want to say men. Some motherfuckers out there that be doing some bullshit.
Yep.
I'm not classifying man because a man don't need to be raped. I don't need to be raping anybody, man. Women come to me. You feel me?
Yep.
But now, anyway, but with that said, this is also New York, which I think is probably going to be one of the more extreme cities for catcalling. Now, I know that happens here in California and the West Coast and all that. I don't know, but I don't know if that's, and I don't want to say that's just the way it is, but I guess that is just the way it is. I mean, but there's some issues I have with that video that I think they did a disservice to their concern and their message, which is a legitimate concern and message. Number one, National Public Radio did an investigation into that, and the producer, director of the video, edited out any white males and what they said.
That's one thing I noticed also. There was no...
They did do the caveat saying of all colors and backgrounds, but they didn't show it.
Yeah.
And he said some excuse saying, oh, we couldn't really hear him or whatever it was. I don't know what his reason was, but they edited that out, which is... So these are mostly people either Latino or black.
Brown people.
People of color. We'll just say that brown.
Yeah.
Because that's what we are, brown.
Mm-hmm.
Black is actually brown and brown is brown. We're brown. It's a different shade. Lighter shade of brown.
Lighter shade of brown
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. And so we were chilling at the park.
Homies on a Sunday afternoon. Boom, 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 boom. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah. Chill. Although Vatos at the park stay ill. Anyway. All right. So mostly it was brown guys saying some stuff.
Yeah.
Now, that motherfucker falling around, that's some weird shit.
Yeah. Definitely some creeper status.
Exactly. That now see that now fuck that guy. He needs to get his ass whipped.
Mm-hmm.
There was some other people. Now see if you say shit like, oh, there was another video that somebody else made of another girl, basically redid their own trial. That guy said, hey, I eat pussy, and that bullshit like that. We all know that ain't
that's
harassment. That's harassment because that shit is not. And hey, man, come on, man. That's just lame as fuck. Ain't no girl trying to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, They may, like we said, despite what anybody wants sexually, that you can't be like that to get anybody's attention. Not anybody that's even worth a damn. You know what I mean? It's stupid. And he knows it, and he's just saying it just to fucking be a jackass.
Exactly.
Probably just to troll and get into reaction, because that guy was some loser-looking guy anyway.
Yeah.
So, of course, anything like that, of course, that's harassment. That's not needed, and that's unnecessary. Those are people who weren't raised right, ain't got no respect for women, probably themselves or mom or anything. Fuck them people.
Yeah.
But saying, good morning, how you doing, have a good evening, God bless you, mommy, being like, damn, that, I don't know, I think that's still harmless personally. Some women may not like it, because, you looking good, ma, hey, girl, can let me talk to you? I mean, that's just the way some subcultures, try to get at girls. And the setup of that video, I think, was whack too. They took a white girl, but I seen Vlad TV's interview with Lord Jamar, and he spoke about it. He said a white, even if she was white, she could be ethnically ambiguous, at first appearance. This wasn't like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white chick. This was a white girl that was white, but she was brunette, had thick curly hair. She looked like she could be Latina too.
Yeah,
or a light-skinned black girl.
Looks like she was in Spanish Harlem.
Exactly. So they took a girl like that looked, to be of these people's own culture, their own race, their own ethnicity, whatever. She was thick as fuck.
Yeah,
she had a fat ass. She had hourglass shape, a nice fat ass,
wearing tight
big
clothing,
boobs,
spandex,
wearing a small ass baby doll black tee that's hella tight, was tight ass jeans, skin tight jeans. She was showing it off. Now, and I get women do this. I should be able to do all that. Yeah, you know what? In a vacuum world, ideally you should be able to do it. But we live in a real world where that shit ain't gonna. I mean, let's face it, that ain't gonna happen. That's gonna cause some sort of stir up. People forget we're primates.
Exactly.
People forget that we are the same, to do the same shit as chimpanzees and gorillas and orangutans, and we that's how we set things up. If a male gorilla or male chimpanzee sees a female in heat or something he likes, he's programmed to go pursue it, to see if she's receptive to him.
Exactly.
And if she's not, she's not. If she is, then he's going to get that ass.
Exactly.
And let's not also forget what I mean, the physiology behind shit. When I see a girl with a thick ass, man, that triggers, seeing a girl like that walk down, you see the shape and the ass, dude, that triggers physiological chemicals responses in your brain. Testosterone, other hormones and things like that, maybe a fight or flight sort of thing, because you're like, man, she look, that gets your sexual arousal and stuff. It's all on a subconscious level. And naturally, the man, as a heterosexual male going after what I'm assuming is a heterosexual female, it's naturally set up as primates that the man has to go display his dominance in some way to show the female that he's fit to be her mate. And for humans in order to do that, you got to start a conversation. You got to go and make the connection.
Exactly.
And in that situation, saying hi or saying something to get her attention, not in a rude or vulgar way. Like I said, not saying, "Hey, girl, I eat pussy," or like I know I use the word fat, but saying something damn well most women I don't want to hear like that. Exactly. But saying, "Hey, girl," or "Oh, excuse me, miss, you look very lovely. You look beautiful this morning," whatever. That's really all you can do there. And if she chooses to ignore you, keep moving on the way, it is what it is. And it's okay, but you just got to try. Guys are going to try. Exactly. Guys are going to try to talk to a beautiful girl, a girl they find attractive. And I realize a lot of women know that. And the way they set it up is that they took this girl, dressed her up like that, to bait, and walked her around what looked like primarily a brown neighborhood in wherever they were, Manhattan, whatever place they were, where they knew a bunch of dudes were going to be hanging out. They were luring these guys in to say something. You're setting it up.
Exactly.
You're setting it up. And there was another guy that showed another girl. She was cute in that one. She almost looked kind of Asian or whatever, Puerto Rican chick, thick too, wearing something similar. And guys trying to talk to her, and she's kept walking for 5 hours. Then 5 hours that she wore a full hijab. Nobody said anything to her. So there is something about that, that people say, well, whether it's a spiritual thing or like they said a religious thing, because if you see a girl wearing full hijab or wearing something like Islamic, sort of thing like that, you're gonna know. I wouldn't try talking to her because it's like shit. She ain't trying to, and there's no chance. So why bother? And she's also, covering herself up. I think too. And I'm not saying, I don't want to be. Oh, you're trying to what? If you're sure? No, I'm just saying that. She's covered up. She's not trying to show off the curves, and she's also putting up a physical sign saying, "I'm not the one."
Exactly.
And then I hate when females say, "I don't look cute for me. I look cute for myself." Yeah, you want to look, but why do you want to look cute for yourself? Because you want to appear attractive to the opposite sex, whoever it is. You still, even though you don't want to talk to any of them, you still want to be liked. Who doesn't like being considered attractive? Who doesn't like being, liked?
Exactly.
We're social beings.
Yep.
Anybody that doesn't want to be social, that doesn't like, that doesn't like that sort of stuff, that's abnormal. And I don't deal with the abnormal because that is outside what most people do.
Exactly.
So if you say, well, I don't like that, that's abnormal. And so they dress this girl up, they parade her around to get these responses, then they edit out what they don't like or what's not going to, and so they're kind of like making it kind of like only brown guys say this sort of stuff. And you know what? And when I asked my friends about it, my female friends, I got a lot of it was all over the spectrum. Some of them said, hey, that's just part of being a girl. Guys are going to try to talk to you. And I said, that's just, and I said, hey, that's fine. It's just been like that since I was 13, 14 years old, and and I changed from being a little kid to fucking, becoming, having the body of a woman.
Yeah.
Guys are going to come, they're going to see it, and they're going to come by and talk to you. You just tell them yes or no. If they keep, it seems like I said, if the guy knows no, then move on. And most of these guys, they all did. She didn't say anything. She kept on walking there. Well, that's it, except for the few guys that were a little bit more
aggressive.
Like one guy was, if I give you my number. At the same time, though, she wasn't saying anything to them.
She wasn't saying a word.
She also didn't say to the guy, no, I'm not interested, or fuck off, or whatever, I don't want to talk to you.
Exactly.
She didn't say the same thing with that guy following. He's being a creep. But at the same time, she didn't once turn around and say, motherfucker, why the fuck you following me?
Exactly.
The fuck you doing? You know what I'm saying? That didn't happen either. I'm not saying that that guy wasn't being a creep, but she also wasn't telling any of these guys to leave her the fuck alone, even after they were born. But most of the dudes that they showed, which that was the best they could come up with, I'm sure, were just, we heard it, hey, hello, good morning. I know you get someone, I don't want to be called ma or girl. Well, they don't know what your name is. I'm not. All these guys are just trying to make a connection with you.
Exactly.
And they say, well, all their intentions, they just want to fuck me. Whatever. You know what? Who knows? But yeah, let's face it, as humans, the physicalness is going to attract the opposite sex. That's going to be the first. Women too. Come on, man. And we know it, man. Women cannot. Why else do you think that women like guys with broad shoulders and guys? It goes back to male physical dominance. Because they're programmed to know that guy has strong genes, and back in the day, he would be able to whoop some other motherfuckers' asses when we just fought bare hands or whatever, and be the dominant one. It's like why a 1,800 pound grizzly bear gets the women when they're in heat. Because he's going to go fight the other one. Same thing, you see that in all these documentaries on animals, all that's the way it goes.
Yep.
The fittest, are going to spread on their genes. And women look for that. And as society, we made it more, a little bit different. There's other traits now we look for. There's different ways to display dominance besides, but there's still physicality of it. What woman wants to have kids with an ugly motherfucker?
Unless he's rich.
But that's a different thing. But that's still him showing dominance in other ways, that he has access to resources.
Yep.
Before, the physically dominant guy had access to resources because he's either going to beat somebody else's ass and take this shit, or he can guard this shit. Same thing with the silverback gorilla. His range with his harem of females, he's not going to let any other fully developed silverbacks come in his area uncontested and try to take his, get all their good feeding grounds and all. He's going to fight for that shit because he needs the resource for himself and his own women.
Yep.
So women can't tell me, that you don't look at guys too and decide if you're going to talk to him right off the bat. If a guy looks good and if the guy looks good to the woman and he says hello, good morning, hey mo, whatever, and she's feeling him, she's going to say hi.
Yep.
And if she's not feeling him, she's going to say no. And that's what I don't like about that video, because they considered everything that any guy said to her to be harassment.
Yep.
The guy following her, or the guy saying vulgar shit, or flat out nasty, weird, pervert shit had the same weight as somebody saying, "Hey, Ma, good morning."
Exactly.
That's horse shit.
Yep. That's bullshit.
That's horse shit. You know. So now we're not even gonna let. So now we're against even people trying to make a connection. And they may not. And these guys may not be making a connection the best way that a particular individual woman. I know we all have different ways of how we like things done.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of women that want to be called "Hey Ma, hey girl," and I get that. But you can't get mad at the guy trying to make a connection, and that's all he knows. That's the way he knows how to do it.
That's like, what he's wired to do.
Yeah, and maybe another guy who's a little bit more, I don't want to say culture, but the guy from a different type of culture may a little bit more or finesse may know how to say, may say, "Good morning, you look good, beautiful this morning," and if you smile and say thank you, maybe he might be able to start. Well, hey, where you, my name's Joaquin or whatever, what's your name? Well, my name's Sandy or whatever, woo woo woo.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of girls that say, "Hey, Ma, you looking good this morning. God bless you, Ma. Oh, thank you." Hey, girl, where you about ready to head to? Oh, I'm going down to Starbucks. Oh, shit. You need some company? Man, I'd love to just sit down and know. Yeah, sure. She's feeling them.
Yep.
But the intentions are the same.
Exactly.
They found you sexually attractive as a woman, and guess what? You were receptive to him because you found him sexually attractive.
Yep.
Now, as long as he doesn't do anything fully fucking stupid, you're willing to give this guy a chance.
Exactly.
And so now we're villainizing that because of a few motherfuckers fucking it up, but then again, a few bad apples spoil the bunch.
Yeah.
But I think that video is trying to show light on a legitimate issue for women, but by them making it appear to be biased, racist, and a few other, its message is lost because they fucked it up.
Yeah.
It's like if you present an argument, you got to have a solid argument with no fallacies in it. Show me the whole thing. Show me what every guy said, and don't tell me that saying hello has the same weight as somebody telling you, "Hey girl, I eat pussy." Girl, I'm gonna get up in that let me get up in that shit. I fuck you good. That is not the same thing as saying, "Hey, hello, hey Ma, you look good this morning. God bless you."
Yep, that's that beautiful rapist game.
Yeah, that's what that is. And I get that same thing too. I mean, these guys say some lame. Why don't you smile? Why? Because I'm walking down the street. I get that. That's stupid shit.
Yeah.
That's not smooth game at all. But it goes back to this old episode of Seinfeld. Well, they're all old episodes of Seinfeld. It was one of his intro. Jerry's giving his little monologue, and he just said, "Hey, us as a society of men, he's a women. Us as the association of men, we're everywhere you are. Everywhere you're at, there's a man working on that situation. Some of us are better than others, but just know that." For that guy that says something, that's the best he could come up with. So when a guy says, "Hey, you, Ma, you look beautiful. You want a coffee?" No. Sorry, but that's the best he could come up with.
Yep.
Sometimes, I'm sorry, ladies, sometimes that's the best these guys could come up with. And it's like, if that's your best, it's like that old, "We're not going to take it." If that's your best won't do. And I guess some of these women don't want to take it. And that's fine. As long as men know, as a man, have respect for the woman, that if she ain't feeling you, move on. Exactly. And that's what most of those guys did. They said hi. If she wasn't feeling something,
kept it moving.
Those guys that were doing, now if you keep pursuing, you actually tells you, "No, I have a boy." Oh, why can't we? That's lame shit. She said no. Leave her the fuck alone.
Exactly.
Go to the next one. She may like what you're offering.
Yeah. There's millions of them out there.
Yeah. So I mean, like we said, ladies, we understand. We know it's a deeper issue. I just think that video in particular is bogus and a little horse shit for the reasons why. Like we stated, respect is key. As long as it's somebody, and women, guys are going to approach you because we're primates. That's the way it is. I know we're trying to change things, but man, just some things, man, you
just can't change.
You can't change because it's a physiological response. Same thing, and this women get the same thing too. When they see a guy they like, chemicals are going to be released in their brain. It's going to activate certain sensors that arouse them, and blah blah blah. I mean, that's why they call it, "Oh, we don't have any chemistry." Literally. That's a literal thing. Oh man, I like that guy so much. I like that girl so, man, we just seem to have chemistry. Yeah, why? Because your chemistry, because you guys activated that in each other.
Exactly.
And when a guy sees a woman like that, I mean, ladies, we function at a primal level, man. Exactly. Yeah, we want to get laid. We get laid often, get laid more, get laid all the time, as much as we can. The older you get, man, the refractory period takes a little bit longer. You can't just adjust. But man, I see a hot chick, I want to bang her. Not to be vulgar, but I mean, that's what it is. That's what gets my attention to you.
Exactly.
And then I'm going to get to know, but you know what? You can't get to know, a man or woman is not going to really get to know somebody on that personal level unless there's some sort of level of physical attraction first. Mm-hmm. And if because some nasty, ugly looking broad, I'm not trying to talk to her because she may be a nice person, but man, sorry.
So, all right. So now we're gonna spend the next 5 minutes. We're gonna discuss something that we're developing called trolling or a jackass. We have about 5 minutes exactly to talk about this. Who do you think is trolling or is a jackass?
Now, let's define some things. A troll is a person. This is our own definition here. A troll is a person that says some shit that we all know just to elicit a response and for entertainment. That's it. They probably don't even believe half the shit they say, but they're doing it to be funny or just for pure entertainment. We all do that. I know I love doing that shit.
I love it.
I'll say some shit I flat out disagree with. And even argumentation debate, a lot of times I'll even take, I'll try to argue from the other perspective just to have you defend your argument. Is it really, so that's a troll. I would say music. See, Eminem is a troll. Mm-hmm. Because even though he said all this shit, about Vicodins and all, especially his first Slim Shadys, dude, that's all entertainment. That's bullshit. He's saying shit just to say shit. Yeah. That's why they call shock jock, shock rock. Howard Stern said shit just to say shit to piss people off or to make people laugh. What's his name? Alice Cooper having boa constrictors and shit blowing up, Kiss and all these people. That's these are people doing shit on purpose to get you to say some shit or think, oh my God, now a jackass, on the other hand, this is a dude or woman, a person that says some shit and really believes the shit they're saying. Classic example, Kanye West. I don't want to spend too much about Kanye, cause, wherever he talks about it. But you know what? When that guy says he's like Da Vinci or he's like a Renaissance, that motherfucker really believes it. That's what he is. And when he says motherfuckers need to worship me or whatever it is, my work is better than, he really believes that shit. He ain't trolling. He believes that shit. And most of the shit he's saying is his own personal bullshit, but a jackass person believes their own hype. So fuck him. Mm-hmm. That's what a jackass is.
So who's trolling or a jackass today?
I don't know who's trolling, but I'll tell you who I think the jackass is today. Do we have the clip?
I do not have the clip.
Okay, but we'll go. Well, we'll just. It's that. What was it? Master P on the Breakfast Club. I don't know how long ago this was. I just happened to come across it on YouTube.
This was a couple of months ago.
Okay, Master P was up in there in the Breakfast Club. With what's that guy, Charlemagne, and that other whack DJ guy.
DjTmos.
Yeah, fuck that guy and the other chick. Whatever.
Angela Yee.
Yeah, I don't care about anything. Charlemagne's funny in his own right. But anyway, so. They're talking about No Limit Records in the heyday, and he said, well, you guys had a lot of records that didn't actually come out, and you remember that. So he said, what was that chick's name? Mercedes? Mm-hmm. And Charlemagne said, man, I really wish there wasn't Mercedes album didn't come out. Man, she got a fat ass. You know what Master P says?
What do you say?
He says, hold on, man. Hold on, Charlemagne, man. Don't be disrespectful. We ain't family. I got, you got to be respectful. And he was trying to punk Charlemagne. And Charlemagne allowed himself to be punked. But this is why he's a jackass. He really believed that shit he was saying. But who's the one that produced the album cover with the bitch bent over the pin and pixel, Mercedes car and her like this with her, wearing some booty shorts with her ass cheeks all spread open and her coochie all right out there, putting her ass in your face? Mm-hmm. Who's the one that produced that, paid for it, and fucking marketed that shit of No Limit? Who's the man that claims he was in charge of No Limit? Who? What was his name?
Master P.
And yeah. So motherfucker, he's being a hypocrite. He wants to put some shit out there that the woman's disrespectful, making her sexual and putting her fat ass out there, which I mean she did have a big, thick, fat ass. But now he's getting pissed off because years later a guy says that. And he really believed it. Now maybe he's grown and a little bit more adult-like, but you can't get mad at somebody thinking that when you produced it.
Exactly.
That's like me being that's like these porn stars. That's like being a former porn star and then talking talking shit about everybody who's in the porn industry because they still like it. But it was all fine and dandy when you were doing it, and now you're gonna try to check everybody else later on because you don't, now in hindsight you don't like it.
Exactly.
And but Master P was really trying to punk him. And Charlemagne should have said that. That's what I would have said, but I think Charlemagne was scared. But I told him, dude, well, so what's the deal? You're being a hypocrite. You produced it, you made it, you put it out there, and now you're mad that people are saying and thinking it? You made her sexualized. You produced a sexualized image.
You created
You
it,
made
sir.
her in a position to be disrespected like that, as you claim, by other man. And he just said she had a fat ass.
Call it like he sees it.
Yeah, you made it, but now you telling him, woo, woo, woo. Man, fuck him. He's a jackass.
On that note, that's the show.
That's it, man. Thank you for listening. Listen, like, support, read, call in, comment. Tell us whether you liked us or not. We're always open for debate, discussion. This is Walkalanious, aka Walkalanious, a highly educated Mexican. DjTmos, executive producer, beat maker, musician extraordinaire, man of many trades.
Thank you.
And this show is produced by the Man of Steel Productions, DjTmos, out of Sacramento, California. Wish you all peace, love, and happiness. We out.
All right.